Hey, how's it going guys? Chris here, taking a look at the Selbstlader 1906 Sniper variant in Battlefield 1. It's one of the 4 new weapon variants which came along in the spring patch, and it can only be used on a medic loadout. So unlike the standard factory variant, the Selbstlader 1906 Sniper has a few extra attachments, which are going to alter the way the gun feels to use and enhance its effectiveness at longer ranges, which is kind of what you'd expect, being called the Sniper. You're going to have a bipod to increase your accuracy, and you'll also have a telescopic scope, which can zoom in by up to 4 times. And being a lower magnification optic, this means that it's going to function in a similar way to the Mondragon Sniper. And so you're not going to be emitting any of that dreaded scope glare, giving the scout players in the distance an invitation to blow your head off. Some of the Selbstlader stats have changed slightly from the factory variant, giving the gun some new advantages and disadvantages when compared at specific ranges and in certain scenarios. And I'll be going over all of those stats and useful bits of information a bit later on in the guide. But for now though, I'm just going to briefly run over how to actually unlock it. Now the Selbstlader 1906 Sniper is either going to be one of the easiest rank 10 variants to unlock from the spring patch, or one of the hardest, and this all comes down to what kind of relationship you have with the bog standard factory variant. If you haven't already reached medic rank 10 to unlock said weapon, then you're going to have to do that first, as one of the 2 tasks you're going to have to go out and complete is to get 300 kills with the Selbstlader 1906 factory. If you like the gun, then grinding those 300 kills shouldn't really be too much of a big issue, but if you don't like the gun, or you have a hard time getting kills with it, then this one's probably gonna suck. The second task though is a bit easier to do, as you'll just need to get 25 kills with rifle grenades, which is basically Battlefield 1's answer to the noob tube. Pretty easy one to do really, just spam the rifle grenades towards clusters of enemies hanging around at objectives or sat around busy choke points, and you'll get this one in no time. But if you are having trouble getting kills, then you could always hop into a map with buildings and fire the rifle grenades into the ones with lots of enemies inside. Amiens is a perfect map for this, as there's a lot of narrow corridors and small rooms, so your enemies are going to have a harder time trying to get away from those grenades and out of the blast radius. But anyway, once you've eventually got 300 Selbstlader 1906 factory kills and 25 rifle grenade kills, then the sniper variant is all yours. Is it really worth grinding for? Well, that depends on what kind of player you are. If we delve into the gun's stats, we can see that not much has really changed from the standard factory variant. As far as the damage goes, it's going to deal a maximum of 40 up to 26.5 meters, which is going to drop down over distance to its minimum of 35 beyond 51.5 meters, which is basically the same damage figures as the standard factory variant. So whatever distance you're at, the gun's going to kill another player in 3 bullets, unless they've already been weakened first. Because there's no real difference here regarding the damage figures, this might seem like a factor we should probably overlook. But because the sniper variant grants us with that telescopic sight, this means that it's going to be a lot easier to land headshots, bumping that damage up and turning the Selbstlader into a 2-bullet kill at close to medium distances. If an enemy is under the range of 41 meters, then they're going to go down with 1 bullet to the head and 1 to the body. And when you're up against snipers at mid-ranges and players lying prone or using bipods in a stationary position, then this essentially lets you kill them a lot quicker, allowing you to take out 2 players per reload with a bullet to spare. Of course, you're not always going to be able to land those headshots, but the scope that the sniper variant provides is going to give you a much clearer view of the battlefield, making it easier to do so whenever you can. With the Selbstlader 1906 firing at 300 RPM, this gives it the fastest time to kill out of all of the medic weapons beyond 50 meters, making it an ideal weapon for those longer range firefights, especially with the gun having one of the quickest muzzle velocities too, of 800 meters per second, which is a similar kind of speed to the bolt action rifles. Because the sniper variant is specifically more geared up for killing at those longer distances, this is all going to give you an edge in those range battles against other players. There's a slight catch here though, as you'll only really be able to take advantage of that rapid kill time at range by using the bipod to counter the gun's recoil. The recoil pattern for the sniper variant is exactly the same as the factory, with an upwards figure of 0.95 and a horizontal figure of 0.1. Which doesn't really sound like much, but when you're zoomed in with the optics, the recoil is a lot more noticeable, and you'll usually need to reacquire your aim for consecutive shots. The sniper variant actually has a 38% higher spread increase per shot than the factory when aiming down sights. And this is also going to make the gun seem less stable, meaning that unless an enemy is nearby, spamming the trigger is probably going to cause your aim to bounce off target. The factory variant also has a 25% lower ADS base spread too whilst moving, whereas the sniper variant on the other hand is going to have 11% less ADS base spread when you're not moving. So this basically means that the sniper variant is going to perform a lot better when you're stationary, and a lot worse when you're strafing around whilst aiming. So whenever you're lining up shots, it's best to stay as still as you can, to ensure your bullets are going to land where you want them to. The weapon's still only going to be able to hold 5 rounds per clip, so anyone hoping that the new sniper variant is going to somehow improve the gun's ammo capacity might be a bit disappointed. But the fact that the sniper variant is designed to be used at mid to long ranges, this factor becomes a lot less problematic, as you won't be left quite as vulnerable when reloading, being further away from the enemy. Still, unless you're landing headshots or unless your target has been weakened, it's usually going to be 1 kill per reload. The Mondragon Sniper might be a better pick if you want a long-range medic rifle which holds more ammo, but do take into account that the Mondragon has a higher recoil pattern and slightly lower fire rate to compensate. So more bullets might miss, and you won't be able to spam them quite as fast whilst planting down and using that bipod. So all in all, the Selbstlader 1906 Sniper variant takes advantage of the gun's effectiveness at longer ranges, kitting you out with a magnified scope and a bipod. Because the weapon has one of the highest muzzle velocities, a strong damage output at range, and a fairly quick rate of fire, these factors are all going to contribute to the gun's practicality of being a long distance weapon, especially when you're making use of that additional bipod to make the gun more stable. And when you do that, it's going to be one of the most useful ranged weapons in the game, as you'll be able to outgun pretty much everything else. And if you're up against a scout player, unless you're within their sweet spot zone or unless they fire a bullet in your head, you'll normally be able to outgun them too. But just like with the standard factory variant, it's only going to be able to hold 5 rounds per reload, which will usually just translate to 1 kill per clip. The factory variant is going to perform a bit better at closer ranges, being able to aim down sights quicker, and with it having slightly less spread whilst on the move. But if you'd rather utilise the Selbstlader's ability to kill quickly and effectively at longer distances, then the sniper variant just might be the one for you. But anyway, that's all I've got for you this time, guys. Hope the guide helped you out. Be sure to check out loads of other Battlefield 1 weapons on my channel, and subscribe if you like what you see. Take it easy, and I'll see you in the next one.